right, I got a discount for you. We're talking Xbox Live, loads of gaming discounts. All you have to do is go to my description, copy my code from the description, paste my code. Woof, it's gaming time. Righto, Telly champs, and I do apologise if there's any noise in the background. I cannot control it on my way. And by the way, I will leave a link in the description to the bushfire appeal in Australia, where lots of homes and lives have been lost in this devastating bushfires. I'll leave a link in the description. Please donate if you can. Anyway, let's get on to CES and let's cover what Lenovo have. And as you can see here, we got loads of products from, all-in-ones to monitors, keyboards, even desktops. But I want to cover the two main things that I like, the ThinkPad X1 Carbon 8th generation and the ThinkPad X1 Yoga Gen 5. I might also make a video about these Lenovo Yoga Creator and the Idea Creator. Leave a like if you want me to cover those as well, because they're very interesting products. But let's get on to the main show, the ThinkPads, the X1s. And there's two new ones. When are they going to come out? Well, it just says later in 2020, so it's very nebulous. I assume soon. But let's start with the X1 Carbon. Now, when it comes to these X1 products, the ThinkPads, I consider them like white goods. And what I mean by that, it's like, buying a fridge. You buy them, they work every day, no problems, and they're going to last for years. And that's what it is with these ThinkPads. They might not be the sexiest thing around, although I do think they're a bit kitsch. I like them. I'm a bit of a geek and I've got a soft spot for these. They're just built well. They're light. They're robust. They can take a pound in. And if you just want a laptop that's going to last forever, get one of these. You're backed up by Lenovo support. And, you can get parts for ThinkPads that are, many years old. So you can't go wrong with ThinkPad. No one ever gets sacked for buying a ThinkPad. Now, the two best ThinkPads, in my opinion, are the X1 Carbon, and this is the 8th generation, and the Yoga, which I'll get onto in a sec. So these are the new versions of them. They come out with the 10th generation CPUs. They look pretty much the same as the older versions, and they are just refreshed. They're just sort of, updating them and just refining them and perfecting them even more than they are, even though they don't need perfecting. Now, they are Project Athena certified, so that means they've been certified by Intel, that they, wake up straight away. They're just like using your mobile phone. You open them, you close them, they instant resume. The battery life will last for a long time. They just do what you do and they'll do it all day. Now, of course, ThinkPads are always security focused. So in some ways it's great that they're refining it, but in other ways it's like, they haven't, gone to the next level like, say, XPS have gone with the XPS 13. But they're sort of like a safe upgrade. They haven't, tried to do anything out of the box, innovative and stuff like that. Say like the XPS 13, how they've gone to a 16:10 display. They've gone to Ice Lake CPUs, which I'll get into in a sec. They're using Comet Lake with this. But of course, you get all the security features that you'd expect with Lenovo, the highest grade biometric. This is why enterprise buy these things, because they're so secure. And being focused for that sort of market, you would expect you'll be able to do conference calls easy with this thing, and you can do direct calls from your laptops. And of course, you've got built-in LTE if you want that as well as an option. Also has the best-in-class Dolby Vision displays, so they're serious about security. They're focused on things that enterprise would want. You also get Dolby Atmos speakers, so you should get a good experience with your speakers. Now, let's get into the specs. And what we have here is, I think they sort of pulled the wrong rein here. I think they should have went to Ice Lake CPUs. They are 10th generation CPUs. They're using the Comet Lake, which are the 14 nanometer ones, the 15 watt parts. You can get up to 6 cores. Of course, you can get V Pro because, this is for professional sort of enterprise stuff. We don't have to worry about V Pro. It's nothing we need. But 10th generation CPUs, they're using the weak Intel graphics. So the UHD 620 graphics. Now, most of the people that use these, they probably won't need the graphics, but I would prefer Ice Lake CPU with the Iris Plus graphics. So I just think that's a better choice. But I do agree that most business people probably don't need that. You get a HD IR camera and you can slide over the shutter there, so you can cover that webcam. You don't have to put tape on it. One of the things about being on Comet Lake is you have to use DDR3 and you have a 16 gigabyte ceiling. With the Ice Lake, you can go up to 32 gigs and you can use DDR4. So that's one thing. 18.5 hours battery. They've always got good battery life. That would be the full HD model. Expect, less if you get the 4K or one of the higher resolution displays. displays. And you can see here you get a 65 watt power adapter. If you were using Ice Lake, you could probably go down to 45 watt. Now there's quite a few displays here, okay? You can get touch displays and non-touch, 14 inch full HD, 14 nit. The first two displays will be the entry level ones. They'll be full HD and they're 400 nits, and you can get a touch version or non-touch. You can get this one here, which I think is a new one. It's a 14 inch full HD IPS Privacy Guard Touch AG 500 nit panel. So it is full HD, but you won't be able to see it from the sides and stuff. You also have a QHD 300 nit, which I probably wouldn't get now because, you know, that's getting a bit long in the tooth and it's not that bright. And then you get the killer display, which is that 14 inch HDR 400, 500 nits, 10-bit. Yeah, that thing is serious. That is an amazing display. They're all 14 inch, of course, so you know they're bigger than the 13 inch. I wish they was 16 by 10, but these are refresh of sort of current laptops, so you know they're not going to go 16 by 10. But that's why I like the XPS 13 so much. The new one, 16 by 10, Ice Lake CPUs, good graphics. And one of the other things too is, I'll go over here, you get two Thunderbolt 3s, right? But because this is using Comet Lake CPUs, the 14 nanometer, the Thunderbolt is not built into the chipset. It is a discrete sort of chip. That means both these Thunderbolts are on the same side. That means you can only charge from one side, whereas the XPS 13, because it uses Ice Lake CPU, they can put the Thunderbolt on either side. They don't need a discrete chip, and that's why you have to have them on one side. With Comet Lake CPUs is because if you need a Thunderbolt 3 chip, you can only put the Thunderbolts on the side of the chip. Now the MacBook Pros have two, so they have one on each side. And of course, being a ThinkPad, you do get an LTE option. So you get great connectivity with these things. They're just super reliable. You know what you get in here, you know. Very thin and light, isn't it? 1.09 kilos or 2.4 pounds. That is super thin and light with all day battery life. Reliable. Just that great laptops. Don't know if I'll get this over the XPS 13 though, just because of those things I've mentioned before. And of course we have the ThinkPad Yoga, which is basically the same thing, but it's a 2-in-1. It is a little bit heavier because it is a 2-in-1, but it's basically all the same features other than, you know, you don't get V Pro, which is an enterprise thing. You have the same sort of ports there. You do get the option of LTE with the Yoga, and if you have a look at the weight, it is 1.35 kilos or 2.99 pounds. Now the thing about this is, the Yoga is it's got a metal build. It's got a premium metal build now. Now I do like a premium metal build, but I think with ThinkPads, I don't want them to be that premium metal build. I want them to use that sort of carbon fiber or Kevlar or whatever they use in there. I want a ThinkPad to be black. It just looks weird to me having a metal build sort of ThinkPad. And also there are some different screen options with this, or say lack of screen options compared to the X1 Carbon. But you don't get the full HD with non-touch, of course, because, you know, it's got to be touch to be a 2-in-1 or a Yoga, doesn't it? That's it. They are the two laptops I wanted to cover from Lenovo. I had an X1 Yoga 3rd generation. I loved that thing. My wife didn't like it. She said basically I'll be embarrassed to use it because she didn't like the look of it. So, you know, that's just the thing, right? I like the look of ThinkPads. She doesn't like them. Some people won't like them. I just like how reliable ThinkPads are. They're just great laptops. They go forever and you can always get backed up with parts, and good support, I would say, with Lenovo. So let me know if you want me to do a video about the Yoga Creator and the IdeaPad Creator 5. I'll actually have a look into those. They look quite good as well. But anyway, CES coverage. I'll catch you in the next one. Tally ho.